How's it going, guys? Alex here, and I'm back for another video. So the ban list dropped last week, and I wanted to make a zombie deck profile for you guys. So for the February 2018 ban list, this is my zombie deck profile. So I kind of found that the ban list kind of upgraded the deck. I did have one recorded beforehand, but I found that with the performages, like Juggler coming off the list, is really giving the deck a boost. So this is going to be my deck profile for it. So pretty standard. This is zombies. You know, the triple uni zombie. Don't really need to say much about him. You know, you want to see him on the field as soon as possible because he's going to be the guy who's going to be starting off all the plays for you. So I play the 3 uni zombie, pretty standard. Next up, you know, for Shiranui monsters, you know, triple Shiranui Solitaire. This basically is you're just going to summon him and then tribute him just to get like either your Uni Zombie or a Plague Spreader, depending on what the situation is that you're in. So I played the 3 Solitaire, pretty good. The Banish effect is really good, especially if you want to go for a Crystal Wing. So yeah, I play the 2 Spirit Master. I find 2 is just enough. There's not really much of a chance that you're going to need him all the time. But with Gold Sarcophagus and you needing to pop a card on the field, he's just a really good card. Play the 1 Shiranui Samurai, the 1 Smith, and the double Spectral Sword. Samurai is really good if you need to add a zombie monster from your deck back into your hand. And Smith is just really good in general because he's like a protection card that actually has a good effect when you use him as Synchro material. It's just really, really good. I find that playing him at 2 is just playing him at 1 is really good, and Spectral Sword, because if you get him in the graveyard first turn, then the next turn you can practically go into a Crystal Wing, which is just really, really effective. So I play the 2 Spectral Sword and all those Shiranui monsters. So that's it for the Shiranui monsters. I played triple Mizuki, pretty standard, really. Like there's no question you want to be banishing it to summon your zombies from the graveyard, right? Pretty simple. The 1 Zombie Master, because Zombie Master actually has a loop that you can just special summon, discard, special summon again, and then he's just really good in general. Like if your graveyard is packed up with zombies, you know, you can just use it. And the 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. People question why play Plague Spreader Zombie, but in 40 card zombies, it's crucial that you play 1 Plague Spreader Zombie, because if you open your deck, open your hand with like a really bricky card, say if you open your Gem Knight monster, and you have a chance to get Plague Spreader into the graveyard, then you activate Plague Spreader effect, send the Gem Knight to your top of your deck, and if you have say Brilliant Fusion in your hand, you can just activate your Brilliant Fusion straight away, preventing any shenanigans. So yeah, I just play the 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. Really, really good card to play. For other monsters now, this is where it gets crucial. You know, this is pretty standard. If you're playing Brilliant Fusion, you know, the triple Orpha Scorpio and the 1 Darlington Cobra, you want to get Brilliant Fusion in your hand as quickly as possible. And these cards are just too good, really, for the deck. You know, you have to be able to use these cards. So this is where it starts to get interesting. I play for the Pepe engine. I play the 1 Juggler and 2 Hat Trickers and the 1 Trick Clown. The reason why Juggler just goes so well in this deck is first because he can be Brilliant Fusion. You can use him in Brilliant Fusion, and now because of it I have more options on what I can do. And usually with Damage Juggler, if you can open him first turn, you've practically won the game. Literally, your opponent's going to start with 3 cards in their hand, and I'll show you what I mean at the end of this deck profile. I'm going to show you a combo that you can do. And Hat Tricker, because he's searchable through Damage Juggler, and a lot of the time you're going to have 2 or more monsters on the field, he's just a free special summon, so it's just really, really good. And then round it all off, just the 1000 Blades, because you're going to take damage from Trick Clown, the 1 Tourmaline, it doesn't matter what Gem Knight, and the 1 Fairy Tale Snow, because you're banishing a lot, and, you know, Snow is Snow, she's annoying to play against, so yeah. Going into spell cards, pretty standard here, the triple Brilliant Fusion. You know, you want to be normal summoning, get your 2nd normal summon and go into your Mrs. Radiant. Not really much to say. I played 2 Gold Sarcophagus and 1 DDR. I was very tempted to bump DDR up to 2, but I didn't find that I was banishing enough to actually need to, so I think 1 is enough. And, you know, other cards, pretty stable, you know, the 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Burial from a different dimension, and the 1 Soul Charge. If you can open Soul Charge up as quickly as you can, it's just a really, really easy thing. I used to play Desires in this deck, but I just found that because it's 40 card, I'm abusing the graveyard too much. Desires is just not too good for the deck. But I like to play a few trap cards in this deck. I play double Solemn Strike and 1 Warning. I find that although this deck is a very aggressive deck, it lacks a bit of protection. So I just think the 2 Solemn Strike and the 1 Warning is just really good. Like, if you want to use Solemn Judgment, then you can, but I'll find that I'll just be taking too much damage because I'm using Trick Clown as well. So I think Warning is better in this deck than the Damage Juggler. No, Damage Juggler than the Solemn Judgment. So for Synchros and extra deck monsters, I play the double Shogun Saga and the 1 Samurai Saga. Shogun Saga is an easy OTK card to use, very powerful, and allows you to just do a lot of stuff with in the stuff. And then the only reason why I play Samurai Saga is because it's really easy to get a first turn Crystal Wing. Not first turn, like another second turn Crystal Wing if you're able to get Spectral Sword into the graveyard alongside Solitaire. Really, really easy. I'll show you a small combo with that straight after. And then again, you know, 2 Cyframe Lord Omegas, you want to be recycling your cards as much as possible. The 1 Crystal Wing, very powerful card. The 1 Black Rose Moonlight, because going into level 7s is really easy. And you always need to make sure you play one generic level 6 Synchro, because how Plague Spreader works is if you can get it out, you Plague Spreader it, the Plague Spreader goes to the graveyard, then you activate Plague Spreader again, then you can just, you know, go into Crystal Wing. So I played just the 1 Brio. I know it got errated, but I only really use him because he's just a level 6 that doesn't have an effect. If is not a Shuna. If you want to use Charge Warrior instead, then you can use Charge Warrior. But I think that Brio is just as good enough as it is for the deck. Now this is where it gets quite interesting, because XYZ monsters, you weren't really as limited to use XYZs in this deck. You might bear in mind that this deck does have 17 cards in the extra deck, and a lot of it is I just keep taking it out when I don't need, I'm not using them. It's just because like a lot of the time you're not really going to be, you know, using a lot of them. So I only really use a few of these when I actually need them, and those are really the generic ones, which you'll see soon. So the main extra deck monsters are as follows: the 1 MX Saber Invoker because of the Brilliant Fusion engine, the 1 Evil Swarm Ouroboros, and the 1 Satellanite Deltros. Now you might be thinking, but you know, Alex, how are you getting these out? Well, I'll show you at the end. And then, like, you know, the 2 generic ones that you can take out to make it 15 card, or just side deck them, which is the Castel and the Tornado Dragon. Other cards for the extra deck: the 1 Gem Knight Seraphonite because of Brilliant Fusion, and then Link monsters: Mrs. Radiant, Proxy Dragon, and Decode Talker. Because Gofu is now banned, you don't need to play 2 Proxy Dragon. 1 is enough, and it does the job. So I'm going to show you a combo now. A really effective combo that, you know, is just so good for the deck. And if you can open these cards first turn, for whatever reason, you've practically got yourself an easy win. And I'll explain how. So I'm going to just show you guys, if I had just a random monster, it doesn't matter if it's Mizuki or not, a random monster, my Orpha Scorpio, and my Damage Juggler. So firstly, what I do is I normal summon my Orpha Scorpio. I send Juggler to the graveyard, very standard, and again, straight away, I am allowed to summon my Darlington Cobra. After Darlington Cobra is summoned, I can then go add my Brilliant Fusion to my hand. Once Brilliant Fusion is in my hand, I can overlay these 2 and then go again straight into my MX Saber Invoker. When Invoker is now that Invoker is on the field, I can then detach a material from it, and then go into a heroic challenge at 1,000 Blades. After my 1,000 Blades is out on the field, pretty standard, I'm going to use Invoker and 1,000 Blades to summon my Mrs. Radiant. Pretty standard. When Mrs. Radiant is on the field, I then activate my Brilliant Fusion, sending my Gem Knight monster and my Trick Clown to the graveyard. Sorry that the camera's in a bit of an awkward angle with this, but I'm just trying to do it as best as I can. This then allows me to summon my Gem Knight, Seraphonite, in defense mode on the right hand side, nearest to the graveyard, just so there's as much room as possible, just so everything doesn't get all clogged up. After this, my Trick Clown comes to the field alongside my 1,000 Blades, and yeah, then I activate my Juggler's effect. I banish my Juggler, in order to add Hat Tricker to my hand. Now that Hat Tricker is in my hand, I can then special summon him. After I have Hat Tricker in my hand, I then overlay these three to go into a Ouroboros. Activate the effect of Ouroboros, making sure that I only send the 1,000 Blades to my graveyard. Because if I send my any of my other cards into my graveyard, then it just makes it a bit more annoying. I mean, if you can send Hat Tricker, but basically if you send 1,000 Blades and you take damage next turn, then at least you can just special summon him back. So I make sure that I summon Ouroboros, activate his effect to ditch a card to my opponent's grave, so my opponent sticks a card to my graveyard. In fact, let's just pretend I had a Uni-Zombie in my hand as well, right? I then summon my Uni-Zombie, not activating his effect because there's practically no point. And then I go into a Psyframe Lord Omega because I have a level 5 monster, which is my Seraphonite, and a level 3 tuner, which is my Uni-Zombie. Now this is the benefit part of it. Not only do I have an Omega on my field, I've used an Ouroboros, and which now means that I can banish a card from my opponent's hand for next turn. I've already sent a card to my opponent's graveyard from their hand, meaning that they are now starting the game with only 3 cards in their hand. The benefit of this is now I have options in what I can go into, which is just really, really beneficial for zombies, because it kind of felt like the only thing that they could do is just go into like an Omega or a Minerva or something like that. It felt very limited because, of course, they don't have any Link monsters, unlike other decks. But yeah, this is it for my deck profile for the 2018 ban list for zombies. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment below on what you think about the deck. Make sure you give it a shot on something like, I don't know, Yugioh Pro or something. Anyway, my name is Alex, and I will see you guys later. Peace.